Hello my loves, welcome to Mystic Soul Mornings. Whether you are new to the channel or returning, hi, my name is Jess and it's a pleasure to have you here. Today is a very exciting video because I finally got around to making my intuitive oracle deck. This is what it looks like, and I'll have better footage inserted here. Basically, if you know what the Rorschach test is in psychology, when they show like those black and white ink blots, it's the same principle. You look at the image and you use your intuition and your imagination to kind of pull from that and see what images you see. So it's essentially the same thing. And it's very easy to make. You can make it with any materials, any art supplies you have, even really pencils or anything, and I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go. But yeah, if you're interested in learning how to make your own intuitive oracle deck, then stick around. I also have a mini reading at the end for y'all where I show y'all exactly how I use them and I pull a few messages for y'all. So yeah, I'm very excited to use these in future readings for y'all. And yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I made these, then let's get right into it. So I'm using the Canson XL Mixed Media Pad for this. I have a ton of these because Michaels does discounts on them a lot, but I don't really use them for my finished artwork. I thought it would be perfect to use for this though. Originally I just taped down one big sheet, but that's going to change as we go on and I'll tell you more about that. I'm also using my Kuretake Art Nouveau set, which I absolutely love the colors in this. They are beautiful. I highly recommend this set. But you can use absolutely any art supplies you have. Like you can use Crayola watercolors, you can use markers, you can use pencils. Just go in and shade whatever your heart fancies and you're going to be able to use this as an intuitive oracle deck. And yeah, I just wet the paper and I just started putting the color down, letting it flow, letting it do its thing. And like I said, I originally was going to just cut it up and make the individual cards from this, but I ended up changing that, and you'll see why when I take off the tape. So I did some splatters, I did some just brush strokes, and then when I went in and added salt to it. Now if you're not familiar with watercolor, adding salt to it is going to get you these really cool effects because it makes the paint dry differently than if it were just drying normally. Yeah, so it gives you these really cool flourishes and effects that I really wanted, and I thought it would help me to kind of be able to discern better from the images and pick up things better from the images. But once I saw that crisp white line around the border, I knew that I wanted to have that for each individual card. So it was going to be a little bit more work than I originally wanted to, and you could definitely like paint one sheet of paper and cut it up. Like you do not need the white border. But I wanted them to be a little bit nicer in my opinion. The way the white border looks is just crisper and nice. So I went ahead and decided I was going to paint each card individually. So here I am cutting them down to size. I do end up making them a little bit less wide. I thought they were kind of wide. The height was perfect though. And these were 7 by 10 sheets. So I think I was able to get like 4 cards at least from each sheet. And then I took some washi tape and I was going to use that to tape the borders down, but I ended up switching back to my regular painter's tape for this because girl, I was going to use up all my washi tape. And I say girl as a gender neutral term, by the way. Yeah, so I was using up all my washi tape, but I did love the way that they were looking individually like that with the white border. I did the same color scheme for these. Yeah, I just randomly putting color here and there. I'm not really doing anything special with it. I'm letting the paint flow, letting it do its thing, and just adding the colors here and there where I feel inspired to. I also did some splatter effects, you know, just by getting some paint and hitting the back of it, and I thought that would give me some cool effects too as it dried. I was a little light-handed with the darker colors in these, not on purpose, it's just how it came out. And then I went ahead and added more salt to it. I don't think I went as hard with the salt either because it doesn't take a lot of salt to get the flourishing effects. So this is how the first cards ended up looking. I'm just brushing off a good bit of the salt as much as I can. I'm not doing it too roughly though because I don't want to damage the paper. And we're moving on to the next batch. So for these I used the painter's tape just because, you know, it's non-decorative. I wasn't worried about using it. And I get more efficient as time goes on with how I tape this down so that I can reuse the same strip of tape for multiple cards. Now here you see that I ripped it down the middle so that I could get the same thickness of white border on all of the sides, because I really wanted that to be uniform. For this color scheme, I went with warmer colors, so I did red, purple, and some mauve-y pinks. I'm a little bit more intentional with my brush strokes in this one. I wanted to do some, you know, shapes that I was a little bit more familiar with, and just to see how that translated into the meanings of the cards. So, you know, the meaning is going to be a little bit different every time, and that goes for regular tarot cards, even the ones, you know, based off of the Rider-Waite tarot deck. But I figured doing some familiar shapes and stuff on this one would help me kind of pull from it a little bit easier. I just wanted them all to be different, all to be varied. I didn't want to do just a bunch of non-traditional shapes every time. And you'll see that a lot of them have like this sort of well in the middle where they collect water, and that's just how the paper goes. I would go in with a like dry brush and mop some of that up a little bit, just because I didn't want them all to have that streak of paint in the middle, and that's where a lot of the salt would collect too. So this color scheme, this one ended up being my favorite, I think. It was like yellows and like greens, just super vibrant. I absolutely loved the way they came out. And notice that watercolor dries a lot lighter than when you first put it down. So as the cards go on, I'm adding a little bit more of the darker colors as they're drying so that we can keep some of that definition and it's not all super light. But for these, yeah, I just really love the colors. It just looks super fresh. They worked really well together too. Sometimes when you mix certain colors you can get mud, but these just stayed super vibrant the whole time. And yeah, just give me like super light, airy pentacles, earth energy. I attempted to do some splatters on these too, but I guess my paint wasn't wet enough and it was kind of a fail, but I mean, it wasn't going to affect it that much anyway. So yeah, I don't think I went, okay, yeah, I do go back and add darker colors to these because it was looking kind of light. I wanted more definition and more contrast between the shapes and the colors here. And I also add salt to these. I just do it off camera. Here I am showing you a close-up of how the salt looks right after I poured it. Right when you pour the salt, you don't see the effects of the flourishes right away, so you might be tempted to go back in there and add more. But trust me, it's going to work as long as you use like a coarser salt and not a finer salt. That's important. I feel like if you use a finer salt, you might probably still get some effects, but it's not going to be as, you know, cool looking. Well, I don't know. That's completely subjective. I don't know. Use the salt you have. It'll still do a cool effect no matter what. For this color scheme that I did, which was like the mid-tone green and the light green, these were actually probably my least favorite out of all of the cards. These two colors together are fine. They're pretty. And I did some cool shapes with the brushes too. But this brown that I'm adding in right here, it did not play nice with that light green. It touched it and just made like a lot of mud. So I end up not using 4 of these cards. I only used half of them because I didn't like the way the other 4 looked. So I was very intentional with my color choices after that to pick more harmonious colors. Like you see here, I did like light pinks, and then I did kind of orangey browns and that orangey red because I knew those colors would look good together. So yeah, for the pink, I was going for kind of a light love, yeah, just real light energy. And for the bottom color scheme, I was looking for something a little bit more intense. So I'm not using the same colors every time here. I'm trying to give some contrast and give these cards a little bit more personality so that it is easier for me to use them. I don't want to have to like hunt for, the meanings of the cards because they're all the same colors or all the same, yeah, just looking all the same. So I wanted a lot of contrast with these. I really love that color scheme at the bottom, and I wanted to go kind of light with the salt too, because that was going to kind of preserve the colors in the way that they were drawing on the paper, versus when you add the salt, it kind of spreads things out a little bit more. So for the top color scheme here, I'm doing like beige, colors. Once again, going for that airy feel up top. And then the bottom color scheme, I wanted a lot of contrast with that one as well. So darker colors. And that color actually looks like really dark in the pan, but when you put it on paper, it's like this beautiful forest green. And you could see here I did like some cool shapes with that one too. So I was having a lot of fun with these, just doing whatever I felt inspired to do. And these ended up looking really cool. These are probably my second favorite out of all of the bunch because, yeah, just those bottom ones were really cool. I also went real light with the salt. Anytime that I saw some really cool shapes at play, I just went light with the salt because I did not want to mess that up or have it dry too differently than what I was seeing. And once I was done adding the salt and it had dried, I just took the tape off, and I had been collecting it the whole time. So if you do that too, you'll have a giant tape ball at the end. And then I was done with the painting part of the Oracle deck. The final and last step to finishing these for me were to add stickers to the back of them. The back was looking a little plain, and to be honest, I did not feel like spending a lot of time on it, so I just took these stickers that I got from Amazon and used for my 2024 bingo manifestation board. I used them on the back of these. I wasn't really measuring them or being super precise with how I placed them. I just eyeballed the center. I will say with these cards, if you're doing something similar and using watercolor or gouache or something that activates with water, is to seal them if you plan on traveling with them or taking them outside, because I tried to take these cards outside to do a reading and the moisture in the air was making the paint reactivate and it was like sticking to each other, so I had to quickly bring them inside. So yeah, if you're planning on doing that, just go ahead and seal them and you should be fine, or if you use another medium, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so that took way longer than I thought it would, but look how cute they look. I think they look super cute with these stars on them now. It gives the back a little bit of interest because I did not feel like spending a lot of time on the back, to be honest. So these are the cards. I really love the way they came out. I think they look really, really interesting, and I think it'll give for some interesting messages too. So for example, let's see, I had found a card that I was like, okay, that definitely means that to me. It's hard to like shuffle through these because obviously they're rough paper, and also with the salt on them, they are just not easy to leaf through. But that's okay because that just means the paper is sturdy. Okay, I'm gonna pick out a few cards. I don't know if you could pick, if the camera's picking up the sparkle from the salt, but it looks really pretty for the ones that still have it on. And I know it'll fall off in time, but I still think it looks really nice for now. It'll also help cleanse the cards. Let me put these to the side real quick. Okay, so this one to me very clearly from the beginning was, okay, this is the Divine Feminine, and I'm sure y'all can guess why. Okay, we don't have to get into it. It's very obvious. This one over here is very much giving King of Pentacles to me. I don't know, this just looks kind of like the silhouette of a man in a suit a little bit, with the like shoulder line, it's like he's looking that way. And with the green, it's giving King of Pentacles to me. So that's kind of what I associate it with now. And this one right here, this one is giving Queen of Wands to me, because this almost looks like a female like face shape, and then with her shoulders, and it's like all of these ideas above her kind of coming out of her head. So that's why I associated this one right away with the Queen of Swords. And then this one here, this almost looks like a skull to me, so I'm associating it with the card of death. So this means death to me whenever I'll see it. Not death like, you know, dying, just like death in the tarot. So yeah, this one came out really cool. I really like it. I love the colors I did at the end there. So yeah, those cards already have a pretty strong meaning to me. You know, that's not guaranteed that it'll be that every time, but when I see it, that's kind of what I'll think of. So that being said, let me go ahead and cleanse these cards just like I would any other deck. All right, let's see. I'm going to pull 3 cards, and then you can choose pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3 based off of your intuition, and then we'll go ahead and do a little mini reading. All right, what does the person watching this need to know right now? Please, Spirit, what does the person watching this need to know? Also, when I shuffle these, you know, I'm going to be very, very careful with them. I'm not going to be as rough as, not that I'm rough with my cards, but I'm not going to be, you know, doing everything I do. This one kind of wanted to come out. That could be pile 1. I'm not going to be doing everything I usually do. I want these to last as much as they can. I do want these to be like an actual oracle deck that I use. This one wanted to come out too, so we'll put that for pile number 2. One more card, please. We'll go ahead and take this one. Okay. If you could hear that yelling, that's my little baby. All right, so pile 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna put these to the side. Let's see pile 1. The King of Pentacles. Okay. All right, so this card, like I said, to me is very much giving King of Pentacles. So what do we know about the King of Pentacles, right? We know financial abundance, stability, someone who's very steadfast, very stable in their life, knows what they want. This is an energy of a King of Pentacles to me that's very much looking towards the future. You know, kind of in tarot, when the figures are looking to the left, sometimes to me it reads as they're looking towards the past. Him looking towards the right is him looking towards the future for me. Someone who's very grounded. So you're very grounded, pile number 1. That's what these this kind of flourish of green is telling me as it goes throughout his body downward. Let me see what else I can pick up from them. This is like the first time I really sit here with these cards and look at them, because I wanted to do it in real time with y'all. Yeah, this is a King of Pentacles who's very sure about his opinions and what he wants. He's not afraid to say it. And when I say he, you know, it could be feminine or masculine. It's just the energy. So this is possibly a Virgo, very strong Virgo energy. Happy birthday, Virgos, by the way, when this is coming out. And could also be Taurus or Capricorn. Also a lot of Capricorn energy too. Yeah, this is just somebody very, very strong-willed. Looking towards the future, being excited about the future. Having a lot of great plans for the future. Someone whose heart center is very activated. I just saw that because it's like these flourishes are coming out of his heart. Also with the green, you know, that's the color of the heart chakra. Yeah, I just see these little flourishes right here, kind of near the mouth, as being just speaking your mind. Somebody who's very sure of themselves and has no problem speaking up for themselves. So maybe recently, pile number one, you've just been in your power, feeling very empowered and feeling like you are very sure of yourself and want to speak up and share what you want to share with the world. So that's beautiful. All right, pile number one, that was your message. I hope that resonated with you. Let's go ahead and move on to pile number two. Ooh, this looks like a heart to me. It's kind of giving like anatomical heart. I haven't really looked at this card too much. I think this is one of the last ones I did. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Someone very empathic. You're very sweet. You're a very sweet individual. You're very good at transmuting and alchemizing energy. You've recently gotten really good at doing this, and if any situation upsets you, you kind of like turn it into excuse me. You kind of turn it into a lesson, you turn it into an experience that you can learn from. You've really matured in that sense. I'm also seeing like a woman, and this is like her dress down here. Almost like an Ace of Cups energy, actually. Even though it's red, you know, it's giving like in love, it's giving like somebody who romanticizes life. It's almost kind of even giving the Fool card to me, like a new beginning. Yeah, just having fun, romanticizing your life. Someone who's very in tune with their emotions and kind of in love with their energy. That's kind of what I'm getting. Somebody who's like very happy about who they are and what they've been able to accomplish in terms of healing, in terms of the kind of person they are. A very sweet person. You're very empathetic. All right, pile number two. Let me know if this resonated. Let me know how accurate I was with this intuitive reading. Let me know. Okay, pile number three. Let's see what you have. Ooh. I'm trying to figure out kind of what way is up and what way is down for these cards. Yeah, I feel like this is right side up. Oh, this one's interesting. This is kind of almost giving Knight of Wands to me. Or Four of Wands. Ooh. I know it came out like this, but I almost want to say this is right side up and this is in the reverse. But it's like in the reverse, I see almost like a castle. So it's giving like Four of Wands. Yeah, see now with this, I see it upside down. So yeah, Four of Wands. Okay, so stability, building something for the future, for long term, building something on love, building on something you love, working hard on something you love. Yeah, I'm just getting the sense that you've been like watering something, like putting effort towards something. And that's definitely a passion project because the wands talk about passion, right? About our creativity, our desires, our personal projects that we have going on. Yeah, it's almost like adding firewood to the fire. Like you've been really kindling this and working hard on it. And you're building something really solid here. I see this Four of Wands like going deep into the earth. Something that's lighting you up for sure. This I almost see as like roses around it a little bit. Yeah, just something, you've been doing something and building towards something that you really love, that you want to be your future. And you're doing great at it, I'm seeing. It's like you're really committing to this and building towards something really, really powerful and really beautiful here. So that's awesome. And I see this almost like the night sky behind it, but it's just like this fire that you've been kindling is like growing stronger and stronger, and it's about to blow up, but in the best of ways. Okay, I see it's almost like fireworks are about to go off. So you know, in like movies when they light one end of a really, really, really long wick. So I feel like you've been, you know, adding fire or firewood to this, and you've been lighting these wicks, and finally it's about to have a fireworks show. So whatever that means to you. I hope this message resonated, pile number 3. Y'all, please let me know if they did, because I'm super curious. Like I said, I'm not done a reading with these, so I'm really interested to see how they work. Basically, I just look in the image. I take some cues from the color, and I also, yeah, just look at the colors and the way they look together, and that's where I draw my message from. Yeah, so this, like I said before, it looks almost like a skull to me, and these look like trees growing, so it's like rebirth to me, rebirth and transformation. So that's the death card. There was a card here that I was like, okay, I feel like it's giving the devil. I don't think it was this. I think it was this one. But see, I don't think it reminds me of the devil anymore. So maybe it was just when it was first drawing. Now it just looks like a gateway to me to like better, happier times. So maybe it's like moving on to something better. And this almost right here looks like a lion or a wolf head to me, so that's really cool. So yeah, I just look for shapes and symbols in the flourishes. That's why I added the salt, so that I could have a little bit more abstract images to pull from. I'm going to be definitely using these in some future pick-a cards and general readings. So definitely subscribe to my channel if you want to see me use these. Please, my loves, if y'all make your own oracle deck, tag me on Instagram. I'll have it down in the description below. I'll also try to put it on the screen right now. I want to see what y'all's look like, and I want to see what they turn out like. I'm very curious, and if you watch to the end, thank you so much for being here. Awesome that you watched to the end. Thank you. Thank you for supporting my channel. Give this video a like, please. Subscribe. It is awesome to have you here. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.